first week of school celebration.
Oh, this isn't even Halloween.
This is recently.
This is their own version of like shitty Epcot.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more to People Town.
Guys, when we leave the house, it's phone, wallet, keys. How's my hair look? Yep. But if you're experiencing hair loss, you might not be so confident when you stop outside your door. So it's time to get that confidence back and restore your hair with Hims. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/DPT. That's HIMS.com/DPT for your personalized hair loss treatment options. hims.com/DPT.
And listen up, results may vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
Hey, Townies, welcome to another episode of Dumb People Town. Population, you.
Population Chandrasekhar.
Chandrasekhar.
Welcome back, dude.
Rolls
Thank
off
you.
the tongue. It just rolls off the tongue.
Chandrasekhar, it means rising moon.
Does
that
it
what it
really?
means? My full name is Jayanth Jambalingam Chandrasekhar, and it translates to victorious large penis rising moon.
I love it. That. Your parents were very,
prophetic.
Is that a family name? There
It's
goes
a
the
family
family
name.
name.
Named after my
God, I
grandmother.
love So we played in the Lionsgate golf outing with Jay yesterday, and
How'd
then
it go?
so fun. And then afterwards, it was beautiful.
We were joking around
Sitting around eating tacos, joking around, and
with
Jay,
Scott Armstrong.
Scott Armstrong.
I
one of the
started
funniest
in on a
people.
riff with Scott Armstrong
Scott.
about his daughter's college essay. And I'm like, does she take punch up from you? He said no. I'm like, that's going to be a problem because now it's got to get studio notes.
And then network notes.
And
it's
then those notes sometimes are contradictory.
conflicting with each other. By the way, Kent Alterman from Comedy Central guy is there. Mark Foreman from Electric
Mark.
Avenue, he's sitting to my right.
And they're laughing. And then Jay has a comment that made me get up and walk around the table and high five him. He said, like, as if he was doing one of the network notes, he said,
does it have to be college?
That's right. For her college essay.
Nice.
This is such a good joke.
Does it have to be?
Almost spit out taco.
I'm so happy you're
so
here.
happy.
Because the world is dumb, as that hilarious joke points out, that
Yeah.
studio people and network people can be very dumb. But the world itself is dumb. Our friends and our fans send us in stories, and then we're just going to go through a couple. Is that okay?
I like the chemistry of this whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
we saw each other. We made some jokes. I made a joke that was up to your standard.
Oh,
and
it
boom,
was
here I am.
unbelievable.
I've retold it 4 times and credited you
Every
single
time.
And
Every
here I
time.
am now.
And now you're here.
It's
We made it
Actually
magic.
appeared.
Chemistry.
That's it.
I love it.
Magic.
So the first story sent in, I've got it by Matthew Friedman at Not Your Average AVG Matt.
Thanks, buddy.
You ready for this?
Yes.
It's crazy. As we three of us have kids that go to school. So if this happened at your school,
My kids don't go to school.
that's
Dan doesn't have kids.
or
Right.
that you know about. All right, here we go. Staff changes made after controversial post by Florence County School. I'm going to show you the
Probably
people.
like a Facebook post
Oh yeah. So these are
that the school made.
okay, that people from the school. Here we go.
Okay.
Florence County, South Carolina.
Okay.
You performed in South
Shouts
Carolina?
out to people. in South
I have never
Carolina.
performed in South Carolina.
We performed.
Supposedly amazing food scene in Columbia.
Oh yeah.
Isn't Rory from South Carolina?
Yep.
Rory
Greenville.
Scovel? Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, I love that guy.
An insensitive quote. It really was insensitive. You don't have to make it insensitive. Quote in quotes. Social media post from Royal Elementary School. These are little
Okay.
kids in Florence County, which has since been deleted, has led to several employees no longer being employed at the school.
Whoa.
As well as school leadership changes, according to a news release from district administrators. In the photos, and I'll show them to you, 2 of the staff
It
wore
already feels racist.
wore T-shirts that said U.S. Border Patrol,
Oh, God.
standing in front of a brick wall, which was
This
that's
was
the
like Halloween themed?
which was the only part of the display to represent the country of Mexico during an event Wednesday highlighting different countries. So you're doing an event
So
highlighting
the Mexico booth was a brick wall and
with
two
two people
teachers.
saying Border Patrol on top of it. It's very current.
Ice.
Ice baby. The event was part of Royal's first week of school celebration.
Oh, this isn't even Halloween.
This is recently.
This is their own version of like shitty Epcot.
Okay, ready?
Jay, I want to inform you, due to serious nature of this incident, several employees are no longer employed by the district, have been placed on leave by the district's administration. As superintendent, I will not tolerate anything of this nature in our school district.
That's them saying, I want to keep my job, right?
That's right.
They have to come out.
I mean, in the 80s, that joke would be in a John Hughes movie.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, we would be like,
This guy.
and now, what does it mean? We've changed?
We've changed a little bit, but also I don't know if that's the best thing to do when talking about countries. There's probably a lot of other things you talk about in Mexico.
I think we've changed to the point where we now know the places where these things can fit.
By the way, people are smart. They can sniff out when the pendulum is swung too far, where you're like, that's just you being too sensitive.
Right.
There's insensitive, and then there's too sensitive, and there's a middle ground that we can all kind of live in.
Anything around children, I think, like
Exercise
open
caution.
racism around children is where I would draw my line.
That's a good way to do it.
That's fair.
Christopher Rogersis. I'm like, pick a name, dude. Are you Rogers? Rogers?
That is a name that never sounds sober. What's your name there, sir?
Christopher Rogers.
Okay, well, you're obviously drunk.
I played golf with a guy yesterday. His last name was Morphy.
Morphe.
I'm like, is it really? Are you just hiding from
Or
the
is
law?
Is it
Mr.
morphing into
Murphy?
something else?
I think it was Murphy, and it's morphing into something.
Yes.
Directors of the STEM education presently, but will work as the administrator at Royal until further notice. He served in Florence since 2009 when he was hired as a principal of Carver Elementary School. Has nearly 30 years of experience. Julie Smith served as the school's principal for more than 20 years. It's not clear.
That's who we're getting fired?
It's not clear if she's in a position or not. I want to assure Royal community that the school will continue to provide exceptional education for the students with high expectations, blah, blah, blah. Royal Elementary issued an apology on Thursday after the post received backlash from the parents and Mexican-American community members. Apology reads, it is with regret that we acknowledge that a picture was posted to their Facebook page. This is where people get into trouble.
Idiots.
Unplug the internet.
Who is the Facebook page for? Your aunt,
Sure.
the police department,
Yeah.
and for us to
book show,
to
get
book shows.
fans to come out to
At
show.
Royal, we take great pride in our long-standing tradition of embracing and supporting every student who walks through the doors of our building. Our staff is unanimously committed to
The
celebrating
other shame of this is
diversity.
The Mexico table section should be the most fun.
Exactly.
We got a piñata over here at the
They got
tacos?
sombreros.
Yes.
They probably have
Burros.
churros, maybe.
Burros and churros. That would've
Burros
been-
and churros. Why is that not a restaurant? Maybe
Burros
you have a
before
Senior
churros.
Frogs at the corner. All right. Senior Swankies. I was notified by my staff.
Senior Swankies. I've seen your
Swanky.
Swanky.
It's not that
Yeah, it's
beautiful.
not that wonderful.
O'Malley issued the following statement on
Terrible.
the district's behalf on Thursday afternoon. I was notified by my staff an inappropriate social media post in one of our school's Facebook accounts, one of them. Your school should not have multiple Facebook accounts.
You shouldn't
'cause
have a burner
You
account.
can't keep control.
Right?
That's right. You don't want a
just-
burner.
You don't
One
want your
account-
school shouldn't have a burner account.
One account means that everyone's accountable. That should be at top of the office, right, Dan? Let's make that sign.
Yeah.
All right, so what was posted and the conduct of the staff involved is inexcusable, not a representation of the school, its staff, or district as a whole. Today, this matter has been thoroughly investigated, and those who have
But isn't
contributed.
remember people getting fired because it was a representation?
No, it was a bad. Yeah. This isn't
Like
the way
you
we.
can't say we don't do this sort of thing.
We have
'cause
made
did
great
it.
strides in Florence over the past several years, and I believe that the best is yet to come. Thank you for your continued support of the staff of Florence One Schools. The Racial Justice Network also released. Did you guys know that there was that?
No, they
released a
RJN?
statement regarding the post made Thursday. I have a three. Don't you have a 3-picture deal with the
RJN?
Racial-
I do. And
Just
we
a
haven't been able
pilot.
to agree on a film yet, but
Okay,
yeah, it's coming.
which can be read in the attachment below. Racial Justice Network. They made a statement, which
But
is
don't you kind of wish we could see what other countries were
right.
to see like how
I
did
think
they
this was the only.
how
one
did they
that-
do the Germany one?
The group said the district has a habitual past of displaying discrimination, prejudices, carelessness, unprofessionalism, and downright racism. So you need an outside.
But that isn't representative of them at all.
Well,
No.
yeah. Elder James Williams with the racial. Is that his first name? Is Elder?
That's what I was gonna.
That's
Elder
a red
James
flag.
Williams,
Yeah,
right?
that is a red flag.
With the Racial Justice Network said there's lots. How many wives do you have, Elder James?
Yeah, it must be a position within the RJN.
I think Elder is his first name. So there were a lot of work, time, effort, and thought put into the display.
Isn't
of
that
some of the
Tiger
staff
Woods'
members.
first name?
Elder? That's Eldrick.
Eldred.
The group said there was no regard for students and how some would feel what message they were sending to others. The Racial Justice Network is questioning the motives behind the display. School is no place for racism and politics. This district, as you said, Jay, has already shown what they think of African Americans, and now they've shown us what they think of Hispanics. This is unbelievable. Many of the Mexican Americans in the community have said they're satisfied with how the district handled it, so that's good.
All right,
Okay.
Situation, but the question of the district allows for it doesn't allow for sensitivity training for its employees. So I'm going to show you the pictures, and again, they had Border Patrol, US Border Patrol. And the woman is kind of wearing what I consider a tiny sombrero, which I don't like.
It's like a Shetland sombrero.
It's like a mini.
Like
it's
the
a
kind of sombrero.
It's a sombrerito.
I'll tell you what complicates that picture, and I
Yes.
think you know. It's always complicated
If it's a mixed race.
when there's somebody black who's doing the racism, because you're like, is it actually racism? And then because they go, well, I know what racism is, and I know this is not racist, and I never could be racist.
Here's another picture of
It's
is
all gals,
Royal Cantina.
Royal Cantina.
all ladies,
Yeah.
They're
And
wearing sombreros.
and a black guy.
And a-
And
and
one guy.
You know, these are all people who
They're all colorful. This is like the type of sombreros you get when you're at like an all-inclusive resort down in
But
Mexico.
logically, if I'm facing the wall and there's Border Patrol agents, I'm not in Mexico.
No, you're on the other
Right?
side.
You're in America.
You're in America.
So that doesn't even work.
Right. That you would be. This would be a southern.
No,
Texas.
if the Border
By the
Patrol
way,
agents were on
but
the
they-
other side
It's
of the
U.S.
wall.
Border Patrol.
Do you know what also makes it bad? They're both wearing sunglasses and not smiling. Like if they were smiling, I don't know if that makes it worse or
And
better.
they
if they're
made the
smiling.
shirts. They made
You're
the
right.
shirts.
You're right. It is bad that they're not
she
smiling.
made the shirt.
She.
That's what I'm saying, too. Someone
She
spitballed
did make
this.
the shirts.
Somebody's like, no, we
This
have
is her
those like...
creation. All right, Barbara, you can make the shirts.
This is where we find out about the affair between them.
Right.
And boom. And
But
boom.
Dan, you're right.
We
It
have like
is.
those brick walls from when we did West Side Story. We could
Right.
use those.
So here's the question.
First of all,
because-
it's not a brick wall.
So
we
we've
know that.
gone
It's not
through
the Great Wall of China.
Well,
we know
so
that
the
about our
U.S.
wall.
Border Patrol is on the Mexicans. I will say
Yeah,
this.
they do patrol.
There's
over
on the
there. I know.
Mexican
But the way they're
side.
presenting it.
Yeah, and so
How? Is there a buffer zone?
no, but like when people are coming back in the United States, there's U.S. Border Patrol on the Mexican side who are allowing people in. So that is, but there is the U.S. Border Patrol patrolling on our side. Again, not the way you want to represent
This
Mexico.
conversation is proof enough as to why they should have never done this.
Yeah, you guys.
Because somebody should have been like, I'm confused about what we're going for. And they're like,
yeah.
let's
Someone's like, it'll
let's
be
just
funny.
have a nacho stand.
It'll be funny.
Let's have a fucking nacho buffet. Call it a night.
Which one of the two of these people do you think said it would be funny?
We all
She
know.
did. She made
did.
the
She
shirt.
did.
She did.
She probably was like, look, we'll get a sombrero. We'll put guacamole in the top. We'll put chips around the outside. And they're
of it.
like, stop.
Stop
it.
doing that.
Just
stop.
stop.
Stop what you're doing.
And she was like, all right, well, can I make the border shirt? And they're like, just fine.
fine.
Shut
Let her
up.
make the
Already
border
got two
shirt.
at home
Stop.
from last year.
She's got border shirts from last year. And so there you go. So that was it. It was just stupidity in a school. And there you go. That's story number one. Down
She
the
made
road.
the shirts.
She made the shirts, and that was it. Thank you very much. All right, Jay Chandrasekhar is with us. We'll be right back with more W Town right after this.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more Dumb People Town.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Jay's got some dates that we're gonna let you guys know where you can catch him live. Very funny stand-up and a great show. Jason and I, we can tell you that we on the November 15th, we're doing a Tag It in St. Louis as part of the Flyover Comedy Festival. On the 16th, and Dan will be on that show. We're headlining the Sheldon Theater in St. Louis as part of the Flyover Festival. Big theater. Want to sell it, want to fill it up. It's going to be a blast. Then we're doing our two-man show, The Born Identity, in Los Angeles in the month of December, the 9th, the 12th, and the 16th. We're doing a Tag It at the, which you were a part of. You did Tag It with us at the Comedy Store in the main room on December 5th. And then we're doing Born Identity as part of Sketchfest on February 1st.
La Jolla
Comedy Store the weekend before, and then we get into the spring where we're going to be back at Mark Curley's Comedy Castle for a weekend, Minneapolis over at Acme Comedy Company, and Denver. So
You guys work
superstars.com.
harder than me.
No, I don't think we do.
We just
lay
lined
them
all
out
this stuff
far
up,
in
and we're
advance.
we're way far in advance.
We're gone once or twice a month. That's it.
and
Once
fingers
or twice.
crossed, we'll make a movie with Jay Chandrasekhar, which would be
We're
great.
trying.
We're trying. We are really trying.
We're in discussion
We're
with
in.
the racial justice
Dude,
group.
you have the 3-picture deal with them.
That's
Let's
right.
go.
No,
Let
pitch
us
them
be
the
one
idea.
of those pictures.
Everything we do, I think this is now the third project that we've
looped you into
Yeah.
to try and do stuff with, because we got to do something with you a while back, and it was one of our favorite
Super
things
fun.
about it.
We've had success, so let's keep that streak going. Speaking of success and streaks, you are a fantastic stand-up. I'm loving all the clips that you put out there over on the intranets and the TikToks and whatnot. You're coming up. You got some dates in the Midwest and whatnot coming up.
I do. I have
in Phoenix. You're
I'm
gonna be at the Tempe Improv. Such a great club. I love that club.
And then I'm also, if you excuse me one second here,
Fort Wayne,
I'm in
Summit City.
That's right, Fort Wayne, Indiana, right?
Very good.
Summit
City.
City.
Yeah.
Great.
That's going to be in November and December. For Tempe's the 14th.
November of November.
And
yeah.
people can just follow you and
Yeah.
get these dates.
I have a link tree. You
Ooh,
can
I
follow
like
me at Chandrasekhar.
Great.
Perfect.
I love it.
I'm there.
He's
And-
there. See him. Go see him when he's in.
You may recognize him from all his great work in all the Broken Lizard movies. that he
If you're a Super
directed.
Troopers fan, then you're already
Beer Fest fan.
Yeah, you can also find me at the South Carolina Loretta Facebook. I've been taking that over.
Oh, you've been
okay.
taking that
It's,
over. You've been running that.
You've
page.
been running Border Patrol on that?
That's right.
Okay, good.
That's
Thank
right.
you. All right, Daniel.
You ready for a second story?
Let's do it.
Sir.
Let's
Sent in
jump
by Brad McLaughlin
Okay.
from @BradDoesFilm. Thanks, Brad, for sending
Brad.
this in.
At the McLaughlin.
Headline is, this is from back in March, crews rescue same 2 men from Saginaw Bay for the second time this week.
What?
If you have to be rescued,
In the same
rescue
place
me
for
once.
the same thing.
Shame on me.
Rescue me twice.
Leave me there.
Shame on Dennis Leary.
Sure. Yeah, rescue me. Fraser?
You probably
F-A-R-A
directed some rescues.
No, I would have liked to.
Fraser
Fraser.
Township,
Yeah.
Michigan?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the second time this week, emergency crews rescued 2 men, a.k.a. idiots. I said that.
That's right. That's what they're calling him now?
From the gelid waters of the Saginaw Bay after they plunged through the unstable ice. The same 2 men they rescued in the first incident.
Were they
It's
ice
March.
fishing?
Yes. It's
Dummies.
March, and you're
Dummies.
going out on the ice in March.
You're tempting fate. Do you know, like, when I was a little kid, and you'd be in the swimming pool, and they'd call Adult Swim.
Yeah.
Saddest
whistle
so
in the
sad.
world.
They're doing laps. They start to put the ropes out, and you're like, God damn it. And then you'd sit there. I would sit by the edge, and I would wait. And I wanted to be the last one. I wanted like 6 people to come up to me and tell me to leave.
Yeah.
And I get a little tingling on the back of my neck as I would just sit there. And it's like
Knowing that you're testing
But I
fate.
was tempting fate
Yeah.
in that way.
Yeah.
And that was a good way to do it. But this is like your life's on the line.
This is not a cold plunge.
The 2 anglers
This is a dumb idea.
it's both, actually.
Can someone please like dispel how good a cold plunge is for you? Like, I'm sure it's pretty good
Have
for
you done it?
I have.
Yeah, me too.
For how long were you able to sit in it?
Well, I had a New Year's party in New York City, and then I kept saying to everybody, "We're doing Polar Bear Club the next day, right?"
Oh,
Which is in Coney Island,
Oh, my
and it's
God.
January 1st.
oh my God.
And I get a everyone's like, "I'm in."
Of course.
I call around on the morning of
The
January
first.
1st.
No
and
one's in.
and I rope in 2 people.
That's impressive.
3 people.
3 people.
So we drive down to Coney Island, park the car, get high as fruit bats,
Sure.
and step out into the freezing cold. Now, you know, they say it's going to happen at 1 o'clock. So we get there at about 1:03, you know, and it's going. Like people are like,
People are going in.
They're on the beach,
beach,
and there's
right.
a master of ceremonies with a whistle.
No.
And he's like, we're going in. So and people are pulling like there are 300 people there.
Yeah.
So we quickly, you're like, I thought, oh, I'll have a minute to think about it.
No,
Right.
But,
you have
know,
no time.
Strip down to like a bathing suit. So there's some nude people there.
Of course there are. This is their
and
opportunity.
You go into the ocean.
Oh my God.
And
First time it hits your leg, you're like, I'm gonna fucking die.
well, it's 12 degrees in the air, so the water feels warmer.
Oh,
It
really?
is
Oh,
warmer.
that's
It
nice.
is warm.
And you're like, well, it's not bad.
It's a hot
And
tub?
once you get used to the brutality of it,
Oh yeah.
then you're just like, hey, I'm swimming around. And there was a hot naked woman swimming right next to me.
Sure. Yeah.
But and I was like, this is pretty good. And but
still
what
talking
happens is you're allowed
I can't wait to tell my wife. What?
3.5 minutes you can stay in.
She didn't even know you were in New York for New
They
Year's.
tell you. They tell you that.
Yeah, they're like 3.5 minutes.
3.5 minutes.
So you're
or you
in
will
there,
die.
and you're like, what minute are we on?
Yeah.
Eventually, your brain starts to slow, and they blow the whistle, and everybody's out of the water. And there's 300 piles of clothes, and my vision kind of went a little black and white.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
And so I'm now looking around for my clothes,
Oh, my
thinking,
God.
"Oh my God, this
You're
is how
wet
I die."
and
Do you have a
cold.
towel? Do you have a
No, there's no towel.
No
Coming out
towel?
of the ocean.
God.
I mean, I have a towel there if I find it.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm coming out of the ocean. I'm
my Lord.
like, this is how I die.
That's right.
Right.
And,
Hypothermia. Forget it.
I finally find my pile. First of all, you're constantly thinking about thieves stealing your shit.
Yes.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I find my pile. First thing I do is I put on these lace-up boots, socks and boots, and then I hold up my pants. I'm like, oh my God, I've
No.
made an enormous mistake.
Because you can't pull a pant leg
This
over
is
a
how
boot.
I die.
This is how you die.
And I take them up, put them back on.
Oh, God.
And there were all these hot baths around there, Polish hot baths. We
Yeah.
couldn't get into any of them because
course
we didn't
not.
have a reservation.
Right, of course.
One of the girls we were with passes out and lays on the cement for 30 minutes. And
No.
you're just sort of shaking.
Oh, my God.
That's how she dies.
That's how she
does.
So we finally get home, and I'm like, oh my God, I get in a hot tub, and I just warm my body. And I'm like, oh, it was so terrible. I get out, I sit on the couch, and I'm just shaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took 6 hot baths.
Oh, my God.
And eventually the blood warmed
You
it
came
up.
back.
And I'm like, I will never do that.
Yeah, I love that you were rounding people up. Or never have an idea when you're drunk on New Year's Eve.
That's right.
This is it.
Since then, I've been cold plunging quite a bit. Yeah, I'm kind of into it.
What are the positives of it?
Okay, what it does is it puts your body into a stress that it can manage. And when your body's in a stress,
Okay.
then it kind of creates these stem cells.
Okay.
It's sort of like what happens with intermittent fasting. If you put your
Right.
body into like an 18-hour stress where it's like, am I going to get fed? It
Yeah.
creates these stem cells, and that's why it's supposed to be good for you.
All right.
Cold plunging. I
Very good.
read this book by Wim Hof.
Uh-huh.
And he's called the Iceman, and he goes into like
Iceman. I thought that was
into like
King
a whole
Parsons.
box of ice. He can go in for like 2 hours,
No.
and he can raise his temperature.
He
skin
did.
temperature.
He did that on a whim.
Yeah,
he
he
did
did
not do
There
that.
you
Nice.
go.
On a women a half.
So 2 anglers were trying to retrieve items that they had to abandon during their first rescue when they needed to be rescued yet again.
So they.
So they were out on the ice.
Yep.
They had to be rescued. They left all their stuff out there, and
they're
they
like, we're gonna
thought,
go back and
hey,
get it.
it's only later in the year than it was a week ago.
Right.
Let's
Things have
go.
only
Let's be Jack from Lost and go back.
Yeah. God.
You know they went in on their bellies too. They're
Right.
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah,
Slide
yeah,
now.
We're being careful.
Yeah.
Ice fishing used to be necessary to survive.
Yeah.
It is no longer.
No, in
it's
Alaska.
just a recreation. It's people who move out of their house for a year.
Yeah.
Sorry,
It's
3
just a
months.
chance to get away from your kids for 2 weeks.
About 4:30 p.m. on Wednesday, March 9th, Bay County Sheriff's deputies were dispatched to Linwood Beach Marina in Fraser Township after being alerted to 2 men being in the water after their boat capsized. They didn't even make it onto the ice.
No.
This was according to Sheriff Troy R. Cunningham. The 2 men were trying to retrieve equipment they'd been forced to leave on the ice from their previous ice rescue.
Here's something you never want to hear when you're being rescued. Have the rescuers be like, "You guys,
Again?
you guys."
Yeah. Leave
Be
them.
like, we're,
Grab the rope, idiot.
Yeah.
you know what to do.
Yep. That prior rescue occurred 3 days earlier on Sunday, March 6th, and saw the 2 men identified as Jonathan Doty of Otisville and Nicholas Mullins of Mount Morris.
Jonathan.
They had to
Doty.
leave behind this was when they were first rescued. Snowmobiles, fishing equipment,
Yep.
an pop-up camper due to a large crack in the ice, the
Yeah.
sheriff said.
Yeah.
The U.S. Coast Guard
So they drove all
rescued-
that shit out onto the ice.
well, back when it was fine to do so.
Right.
But
And
Now
they
there's a
fell
huge
through.
crack
It
in the
wasn't
ice,
fine.
so they're not going to be able to get back. So they were rescued, but in order to get rescued, you
see
couldn't
why
take
they
everything
went
with
back
you.
for the snowmobile.
oh yeah,
oh,
snowmobile.
That's a fun activity.
That is. You don't want to lose that.
There was
They're
a,
like, if we get on this snowmobile, we can outrun the ice breaking.
We can outrun it.
We know we can get past it.
there was a third person with the men on that date as well, about 2 miles offshore from Linwood Marina. So this third guy was like, "I'm not going back."
Yeah.
I'll meet you guys on the other side.
On this
Of
second
life.
attempt, or first attempt to get their stuff, but second time back out there in 3 days, they took a 12-foot flat-bottom boat across the water.
Flat bottom boats, you make the rocking world go round, down.
They took that boat out to cross the water out onto the ice floe when it capsized in rough water, which means they also had to assess, like, I don't think it's going to get much more choppy than it is now.
These guys
Yeah.
don't know how to like assess.
It's
anything.
Michigan, guys. It's called the Edmund Fitzgerald. Did we
thought
learn?
The whole point of a flat bottom boat was so it doesn't capsize.
Right.
Right,
It's
like,
wide
you
enough
think-
bottom.
It's like a tennis sneaker.
Yeah.
No, it did. They took that boat out there. It capsized in rough water. One of the two men's cell phones still worked, and he managed to call 911, giving updates on their location in the worsening conditions.
In the water.
He's like
I
holding
don't
it
know
up
if they're
out
on
of
the
water.
ice, on the water,
Oh God.
because you could take the boat on the ice.
Right.
But it flips over.
At a certain
Because-
point, you're going to get to the crack, and then you need the boat to get across the crack to get your stuff.
This
Right.
feels like a True
But
Detective
now-
season.
This feels like a riddle.
They must have lost a bunch of stuff in the capsizing, so they got to go back and get
Get that
shit.
now.
I
There's
don't
No,
think
yeah.
they even made it to load up
No,
the
but
boat.
he's talking about
He's
the
right.
third time they go in April.
Oh, yeah,
They
yeah,
try
yeah.
and get it.
Yes.
With
The US
scuba gear.
Yeah, that's right.
The U.S. Coast Guard also responded and deployed an airboat and a helicopter. The men were found about a mile and a half into the bay and were in the water for just over an hour.
Talk about a
mile
cold
and a
plunge.
half into the bay.
They were rushed to the shore, placed in waiting ambulances, and taken to McLaren Bay region for what appeared to be non-life-threatening injuries.
That was March, and they're still not warm.
They're being
yet.
kept overnight for observation. Both Doughty and Mullins had been wearing life jackets. Without the vests, who knows if they would have survived, the sheriff said.
Probably not.
Dottie and Mullins.
Underneath the life jackets were their border patrol shirts.
Yeah, exactly.
No, yeah, these idiots.
The boat the men taken out had sank. The other property they'd been trying to retrieve was not hauled in on Wednesday night. The men were not issued citations or charged with any offense, something Cunningham said is not done to people who are rescued. The Coast Guard or Department of Natural Resources
idiots.
can issue fines to people who leave property on the ice after advisories have been issued urging people to stay off it.
Right. So
So
that's
they went
the
out
thing.
there when they shouldn't have been
If
with that
you
stuff.
disregard
If you-
the advisory,
Yes.
you're going to get fined.
Cunningham once again encouraged people to stay off the ice as it becomes increasingly unstable with the seasons changing. If abandoned equipment
Nope.
does
I'm
need
gonna
to be
fish.
retrieved, the best way to do so is to hire a professional salvage team. This is where this gets a little fun.
Mm-hmm.
Hire professionals; they can go retrieve it. He probably said. It's much safer, much safer. To that end, a GoFundMe
place.
campaign was launched shortly after the rescue to raise money for a salvage effort.
How
for the
much
guys.
money did they raise?
Yes. As of 9:15 a.m. Thursday, the writing of the story, the campaign had garnered $1,365 from 31 donors towards the goal of $3,000.
That's pretty good.
All
all
funds
right.
go towards a salvage crew, not to the guys. So they've
This
already
is-
said we're not giving these idiots any money.
No, by the way, this is pretty like gives me hope for the community that people are like, we'll even save these idiots.
Yeah. Okay.
I wouldn't have donated.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have either.
First off,
How old?
how old? It just throw me two numbers. Is
Of-
Jonathan Doughty and
And
Nicholas
Nick
Mullins.
Donnie and Mullins is the new Rizzoli and Isles.
Okay, took the words right out
At
of my
Sklar
mouth.
Brothers.
I'm going to
It's
go
the-
20 and 21.
Okay.
2021, Jay, what do you think?
46 and 38.
Okay.
61, 67.
Jonathan Doughty and Nick Mullins, in the prospective order, are 23 and 29.
yeah,
you
this
knew.
guy right
Well,
here.
That's the kind of age where you're like,
We'll go
it's going
get
to
it.
be fun.
We'll go
Right,
get it.
I'm
It's going to
invincible.
be fun.
We'll
We'll
get
go
it.
get it.
Right.
We'll
okay,
go get
final thing, then we'll go to story 3. So the goal for the GoFundMe was $3,000. I went and looked.
Of course you look.
How much money do you think the GoFundMe raised?
Between that, so it was up to 1,000
It was
something.
$1,365.
Okay.
Can we go over?
Yeah.
42.65.
Okay.
4,265. Okay, I think they raised $2,700.
Okay.
$2,400.
They raised, of the $3,000 goal, before we go to story 3, and I hand this to Jason Sklar, they raised $3,022.
Oh, right over it.
Yeah, and they stopped it. They were like,
Yeah,
"We're
they're
good. We
no,
got our
we're
money
good.
for the salvage.
We don't want to raise anymore.
Yeah.
I can't. I hope they got their
Don't
stuff.
go back out onto the ice.
Don't go back out on the ice.
Now, they were screwed because they do. You are going to get in big trouble if you don't go get all that equipment.
How
but
do
not-
you salvage the equipment without going into the ice yourself?
I don't, a
Is
salvage
that a,
team?
is that a Bee Gees song?
yeah, it is. It is.
How do you
I don't know how things work.
salvage
You too.
a broken bar.
Jay, what do we got?
We got a story. We got a Waffle House
Okay.
and everything that comes with it.
Okay.
Sticky floors and fighting people.
Yep.
Here we go. Jay
Yep.
Chandrasekhar is with us, and
We'll find out what
Dan's
Daniel's
got
doing,
going
how you
on
can support him.
right after this break. It's Dumb People Town. Don't go nowhere.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more on People Town.
All right, no one wants to lose their hair.
Absolutely not.
I
But
shaved my
it's-
head because
right?
I'm a little bit thin up top.
Nobody's like,
We're
please
losing
let
our
me
hair.
lose my hair. Nobody.
So, but it's
And you don't
really
have to.
common. You don't have to, but it's really common. It happens, and now with Hims, the solution is simple. Try Hims Hair Loss Solutions, and you will be joining hundreds of thousands of subscribers who got their flow back.
Hims provides you with convenient and quality access to a range of hair loss treatments that work, all from the comfort of your couch. It makes treating hair loss simple with doctor-trusted options and clinically proven ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil that can regrow hair in as little as 3 to 6 months.
I call it finasteride.
I call it finasteride.
Okay.
I call it effective.
That's right.
There you
Choose
go.
from personalized chewable oral spray and serum treatments to find what works best for you. Process is simple, 100% online, and there are no uncomfortable doctor visits. Answer a few questions, and a medical provider will determine
Sent to your house.
if a treatment's right for you. Prescribe your treatment set, like you said, Jay, directly to you. Discreet packaging for free. No insurance is needed, and one low price covers everything from treatments to ongoing care. Hims has hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, and they can help you get your confidence back too with visually thicker and fuller hair. Dan, tell them how to do it.
I will tell them. So listen up, townies. You can start your free online visit today at hims.com/DPT. That's HIMS.com/DPT for your personalized hair loss treatment options. hims.com/DPT. Results may vary based on studies of topical oral minoxidil. You guys say that the same way?
Yes, we do.
And then how do we want to say the other one?
Finasteride.
Okay, I'll go with that. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website and full details for important safety information.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more on People Town.
Hey, gang, welcome back to the show. Before we jump into story 3, Daniel,
Yes.
let people know you're going to be at the Flyover Fest and beyond.
Yes. If you're not in Tempe on the 14th of November, come to St. Louis. I'm headlining the Flyover Comedy Festival, and I will be there the next night as well. The Sklars and I are I'm gonna jump on their show, Tag It. That'll be super fun. But come see me in new material on Thursday the 14th. And then go to danielvankirk.com. The first Wednesday of every single month is my show, Overshare Comedy. You write down overshares from your life, and then comics start their set by doing them.
You should
Would
do
love
it.
to have it on you
We did
sometime.
it. It's fun.
It's really fun.
So I would share the story, and then people would make.
No,
there's
people
a
put it in a
bowl
bowl.
of stuff that the audience members
They
have.
write
like,
down overshares.
It's like,
from
I'm
their
in
own-
love with my coworker,
Okay.
and you're like, holy shit, and you go and
riff
you,
off of these things, and, then you can go.
You can do your own material too, but you start out your set by revealing somebody's overshare. It's super
It's
fun.
really fun.
Cool.
Go to danielvankirk.com for all that jazz.
All right, Jay, you ready? Shall we jump into this?
All the way in.
Okay, you're all the way up,
Okay, here we go. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up.
just like Fat Joe.
Oh, I don't know if I wrote down who sent this.
Jay, you're so bad
Damn
at
it, I'm
this.
so bad
Come
at this.
on, give credit where credit is due.
All right, it was probably She Be Carly. No, I don't know. I actually
You don't
Oh,
know?
here we go. Pensacola man accused of shooting man in buttocks, chasing man with screwdriver at Waffle House. This
I
feels
mean-
like a typical night at the
But
Waffle
it
House.
also sounds like it de-escalated.
It started
So
with
sort
Started
of-
with shooting him in the butt and then chasing.
Sort
him.
of a good thing for
Gun-
Waffle House. Like, hey, we're starting to de-escalate.
We went from gun to screwdriver.
Yeah.
That's kind of smart.
Call that a win.
That's like serving fruit with waffles.
What is this, smart people town?
Yeah, come on, guys.
This might be a pathway for the Middle East. Okay, here we go. Deputies with the Escambia County Sheriff's Office
Where is
arrested
that?
a Pensacola man
Okay.
who allegedly shot a man in the buttocks and chased another man around at Waffle House with a screwdriver, according to an arrest report.
So shot the rest of his ammunition into someone's butt.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Probably just
he's
had
like,
one
I'm
bullet.
out of
Click,
this.
click, click, click. What else do I have?
He had the one bullet he had planned on using for himself.
I got one
Decided
bullet
to
and I got
shoot-
one screwdriver. Who
Decided
wants
to
it?
Shoot a guy in the butt.
I thought maybe that he shot the guy in the butt, and everyone else is like, "It's cool, he's out of bullets."
Yeah.
And then he pulled that
Oh,
screwdriver.
yeah. Oh, yeah?
I'm like, oh, we should have gotten rid of him.
What is that?
tackle him.
Is that regular? Flat? No, Phillips. Get out of here.
Part of me also wants it to be like an orange juice and vodka that he's chasing a man with.
A screwdriver.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to tell you how old this guy is, but his name is phenomenal. Dequan Therese.
Okay.
Daquan Therese.
Jamarl.
These aren't real.
Dequan Therese Jamarl Lucky.
That's his whole name?
That's his full name?
Yeah.
Daquan Therese Jamarl Lucky.
Giant Jumbalingam Chandrasekhar.
Right? That's
Sure.
the only name that rivals
Only name
this
that
one.
rivals it.
Jamarl. Should we name him Carl or Jamar?
Nope.
We can
Combine
do
'em.
both.
Combine them.
We can do both.
Can we do both?
There was a football player named LaMike, and I always thought that was
Yeah,
cool.
LaMike.
Yeah.
Well, Mike.
LaMike. Here he is. Jamarl Lucky. He's the
Yeah.
opposite of Lucky at this one. Was the rest of
Why
Sunday?
I'm lucky.
Yeah, right.
On September 8th is accused of attempted homicide, aggravated assault, distribution of a Schedule 1 narcotic.
And not finishing those hash browns.
Wait, a distribution of a
scheduled
Schedule 1
narcotic within 1,000 feet of a school.
Wait, what?
A Waffle House should not be within 1,000
No,
feet of
no,
a school.
no.
That to me is just like anytime you commit a crime at a Waffle House that's 900 feet from a school, you now have broken that law.
Yeah.
Distribution of marijuana within 1,000 feet of a school.
Oh, dude.
So this is a drug deal that went wrong. Correct? I mean, that's what we're saying.
Yeah,
they met
yeah,
at
yeah,
Waffle House and
yeah.
went wrong.
Would you rather be shot in the butt or stabbed with a screwdriver?
Shot in the butt.
This sounds like the beginning of your blue collar
Cleaner.
comedy tour. Would you rather be shot in the butt or getting by a screwdriver?
At a Waffle House. You might be at a Waffle House. Okay. You might be at a Waffle
I'd
House.
rather get stabbed
Dan,
by
that
a
could be his
screwdriver.
new.
Oh, for sure.
I would take the shot in the butt.
Shot in the butt?
Well,
Same,
imagine a
100% same.
screwdriver coming. I mean, good
Again, that
God.
is my favorite.
If you've
podcast
ever
episode.
thrown hot coffee in a man's face who you just met, you
If
might
you've
be at a
ever
Waffle House.
distributed a grade 1 narcotic within 1,000 yards of a school.
if everyone sits facing the door, you might be at a Waffle House.
If the chair ends up behind the counter.
If you burn your groin with a grease fire, you might be at a Waffle House.
If the hash browns are raw.
If the hash browns contain hash, you might. Okay. Possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. He's already a convicted felon.
dude, this
and
guy's-
disorderly conduct on the premise of an establishment. Let's not go so far as to calling the Waffle House
An establishment.
I think that's a reach.
It is a covering.
A pillar.
It's a restaurant, though. The tables aren't nailed down, are they? Or
Are they nailed down
definitely.
at a Waffle
They're
House?
nailed down.
Yeah.
Last time you've been to a Waffle House?
I
Have you
just-
ever been?
I question how confident you are about that. You just know this?
Dan's been to a Waffle
My
House.
new hour, I have this whole story about the first time I went to a Waffle House, and it was traumatizing and very hilarious.
So just a regular Thursday at a Waffle
Okay.
House.
Yeah, it was like 10:30 in the morning. We were about an hour and a half north of New Orleans.
You should be clear.
We walk in, and the woman looked at us and goes, 2? And we go, yeah. And she goes, there. And I'm like, okay. Normally it's like, seat yourself, or what do you got? Nope. She was like, there. And I was like, I think I have a new high school football coach.
Stone Cold Steve
It
Austin.
was insane. It was insane. Yeah.
Tabitha Walls.
Come be there in St. Louis on the 14th.
Oh,
Here's the
I'll
full
tell that story 100%.
According to the ESCO report, Lucky pulled out a gun and shot a man, but the bullet hit the ground and ricocheted into a man's buttock.
I thought it was
different
an
man's
accidental.
buttock.
I felt like it might have been
So,
accidental.
Went to shoot a guy, shot the ground.
Ricocheted up and off.
That's not his fault exactly, right? I mean, because he's trying to waste one to scare him, goes into another guy's
Wait,
buttocks.
he's wasting a pitch.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
throwing it away.
Pulled out the jammy, aimed it at the sky.
He yelled-
That's the part he didn't get right.
He yelled, "Stick him up," and then let two fly up there, but he let
You
him
don't
fly.
go down because
He
the
let him
ricochet
fly.
factor.
Also,
Do you
Can
think
we
he
just talk
called,
about
Do you think he called bank?
You got to call glass.
Yeah.
no, I mean, let's talk about Waffle House flooring in terms of like the ability to ricochet up
Yeah.
to
Because usually it's just dirt.
That's very true.
After that, the man who had been shot.
Two there in the dirt.
After that, the man who had been shot allegedly ran into the Waffle House.
Wait, so they're in the parking lot?
Yeah, they were in the
it's
parking lot.
of the Waffle
sorry, I
Ran into the
missed
Waffle House and probably was like fourth
Sorry,
in
I'm
line.
late. Sorry, I'm late. Sorry, I'm late.
Or fourth in line in terms of injury.
sure. Yeah.
He's like, we got to deal with you after the guy who got knifed.
Right.
It's like an acute medical care clinic.
Which caused patrons to start running to the back of the business.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh my
Somebody's shooting a gun
Shooting a
outside.
gun outside.
The arrest report said one man tried to run out the front door to leave the area, which is when Lucky began chasing him outside the building with a screwdriver.
Different guy.
You're not
Different guy.
You're not leaving.
Wow.
Different guy.
He's like, I'm parked out here. Do you mind if I?
You're
like
a witness.
He's like a dragon that the town has to try to get around when they go to leave.
I'm going to pay the bill, and I'm going to run by the guy who's shooting people.
Are
in the
you
parking
too
lot.
drunk to know the riddle so we can get back to our car? Do you not know how to solve
Dude,
this
he
riddle?
doesn't. The guy out there doesn't even know the fucking riddle. He changes the riddle.
questions
Changes the riddle every time we walk out there.
When officers
Answer me these questions 3 or get a screwdriver in the knee.
When officers arrived, they found multiple bags containing marijuana and MDMA. On
I mean, are we
Lucky.
talking
Party.
this is
According to
trash
the-
bags, right?
Party. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
These are
Target
party
bags.
guys. Guys just here to
Trash
have fun.
bags, Eugene Levy style from Club Paradise. Okay.
Yes. Okay. We'll get out of here on this. How old is Daquan Therese Jamarl Lucky?
Jamal Lucky.
48.
48 years old.
That was
It's a
quick.
guy with a gun
quick
in the ground.
on the draw.
He's got a screwdriver
think-
for anyone who
I
I don't think
skates.
young people
If you-
carry screwdrivers.
Yeah, if you've done enough of these drugs, you're fine early on. At 48, you start to make bad judgment,
Right.
bad choices.
Start to lose it.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna go.
It's a lifetime of abuse leads us to this.
I'm gonna go 26.
23-year-old Jamarl would not have done that.
26,
Fair.
But okay, I see it. You got
30,
it. I just undercut you.
34.
34.
Yeah, old because the screwdriver. That just feels like he's got.
Well,
that
he's
in his
working.
truck.
He also has
That's
a
what I'm
job.
saying. I like
Right.
that guess, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to go the
Okay,
other end.
Okay.
Also, did he have the screwdriver in his pocket just in case
And on
anything
his
that went?
utility belt.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
wearing the belt.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
Oh, he's doing a job. All right.
The guy works hard.
Good
The guy
job.
does work
Got
hard.
it,
Can
got
we please give him some credit?
Come on, he's
Can we
got 4
please-
names. He's got to feed 4 names.
He's got an
four
extra
names.
L in his middle name.
Jamarl.
The extra L is not for lazy.
No, it's for Jamarl.
All right. So this guy, one of you, I'm going to do this. I don't know if we've ever done this before. One of you is 2 years off.
Okay, fine.
You guys have the option to go
I'll go
2 years up or 2 down.
36.
24.
46.
46. All right. Get your answers in, townies.
Go see
Go
Jay
see
at the
Jay
Tempe Improv
on November 14th.
15th,
And Fort
16th.
Wayne at Summit City.
Fort Wayne Summit City in December.
In
Go
December,
go
December
see
5th.
Daniel in St. Louis. Watch his movie Wine Club. He's
It's
so
such
good
a good
in Wine
movie.
Club.
Thank
You
you,
should watch
guys.
the movie, Jay. You'll
What's
love
Wine
it.
Club?
Wine Club is a movie he did.
It's a feature I did. It's now been moved off of the premium streamers over to Tubi.
Yeah.
And it's a great romantic comedy.
Steve
My wife and I
Little.
elope. We go to a off-the-map winery that ends up being a cult run by Steve Little. It's a former childhood star, and then he wants out of his cult as much as we do. It's really fun.
It's really
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you're
You guys
great
are
in
really
that
Who
fun.
movie.
plays your wife? Not your real
Taylor
wife, right?
Ortega.
Oh, Taylor Ortega.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
great.
Really, really
They were
good.
really good in it. Dan is so good in this movie, and his special
Thanks,
Rose
boys.
Gold is great. Come see us in St. Louis as
Yep.
well. And the person who got it right, Daquan Therese Jamarl Lucky, gun and screwdriver at a Waffle House, is 24 years old.
Oh, Daniel.
Nailed it.
Boom.
Hey, man, he's
There you
young
go.
enough to have a
Hard
screwdriver.
working 24 years.
That's right.
Yeah.
Put in work.
Yeah. Entrepreneur.
Put in work. It was funny because you said, I
Bad
don't
guy.
see a
Entrepreneur.
23-year-old Jamarl, and he was just 23.
That's it. Whoop.
He was
There
just
you go.
23. That's
you
the
go.
beginning of a Dolly Parton song. All right, you guys, that is the show. We love you. And oh, snap, we got to get back to work.
Peace.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more Dumb People Town.